one that takes the cake is Ho-Ho-Kus and Jay.
Welcome to the Ho-Ho-Kus Heritage Keepers Project, Episode 1, The Hermitage, History to the American Revolution. The story of the Hermitage is the most fascinating, and it's a historical treasure in our own backyard. The most interesting aspects of the house's history are stories of the people who built it, lived there, and how their families worked and supported them. The Hermitage is nestled among century-old trees at 335 Franklin Turnpike, across from St. Luke's Church and next to Matthew's Diner. The original home was built in 1763 as a two-story home. In 1847, the house was renovated and enlarged, while still including parts of the original house. It was remodeled in the Gothic Revival style, characterized by its steep gabled roofs, diamond-paned bay windows, and elaborately carved gingerbread trim, which epitomized the romantic Victorian image. The home is filled with stories from families who lived here hundreds of years ago. Taking a tour or walking through the house is like reliving history. You see and feel what many families experienced years ago. In 1767, James Marcus Prevost, a British officer living in New York, purchased the original home and moved his family from Manhattan into the rural area of Ho-Ho-Kus. Prevost, his wife, Theodosia Bartow Prevost, her mother, Anne Bartow Devim, a widow, and Theodosia's half-siblings lived on the farm. Theodosia later inherited the house and became the primary owner sometime before 1776, because her husband died fighting for the British in Georgia during the American Revolutionary War. Theodosia was one of the most interesting people who lived on the estate, so let me tell you a little more about her. Theodosia was the oldest of the 5 children and was well educated for the time. Since females did not go to school, she was home tutored from a young age and became fluent in French. At 17, she married a British Army captain, James Marcus Prevost, and lived on the Hermitage property, where they raised 5 children. Prevost was often stationed away from home, and Theodosia was left alone at the estate with her children, her sister, and her mother. During the Revolutionary War, Bergen County saw much conflict with troops from both sides, often passing through. All the males in the family left to fight in the war. Theodosia enjoyed entertaining, and she was very popular as the house became the center of the most elegant society in the vicinity. With battles being fought throughout the colonies, Theodosia was worried that her precious home would be confiscated and destroyed by the Patriots because her husband was a British Army captain. Theodosia sent an invitation to George Washington for him and his men to come and stay at the estate. Washington accepted this invitation, and his troops were entertained at the Hermitage for 4 days while they were conducting the court-martial of General Charles Lee. While Washington was at the Hermitage, many famous founding fathers and reputable people were part of Washington's entourage, including James Monroe, our future 5th president, Alexander Hamilton, who would later play a key role in defending and ratifying the U.S. Constitution, and Marquis de Lafayette, the French army commander and friend of Washington's during the Revolution. During this time, Aaron Burr, a lieutenant colonel in the Continental Army, first visited the Hermitage because he was in the vicinity after leading a successful attack against the British near Hackensack. Burr and Theodosia became close friends and developed a deep intellectual and emotional connection. After word came that Theodosia's husband had died during the war, Aaron Burr formally courted her. They were married at the Hermitage in July 1782. It was the period of the Enlightenment, and husband and wife enjoyed reading and discussing works of modern thinkers such as Jean-Jacques Rousseau and Mary Wollstonecraft. Theodosia spent the last of her years with Aaron Burr, and having one more child that would be named after her, before she died in 1794 at 47 years of age. This concludes the Hermitage history up to the Revolutionary War. Episode 2 will pick up on the story from the Revolution to today. I encourage you to take a tour of the home. Among other historical artifacts, you can see the original letter from Theodosia to George Washington and the changes to the home over the years. I'll close with one fun fact. The Hermitage was named after the cottage of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, a French philosopher, writer, and composer whose political philosophy influenced the progress of the Enlightenment throughout Europe, as well as aspects of the French Revolution and the development of modern political, economic, and educational thought. Thanks for listening and keeping history alive. Please check out the entire series of the HHK Heritage Keepers episodes on this channel.